بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا Muhammad وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So yesterday we started the book of fasting, Kitab al-Siyam. And real quick, yesterday we finished who is it obligatory to fast on with the four descriptions. The Muslim that reached the age of puberty, that has their sanity, they're in the right state of mind, and they're able to fast. And we did, when does Ramadan start? Based on the sighting of the moon. The three different situations that could possibly happen. Either the moon is sighted on a what day? What day? How many days we have to do for every month before we even look for the moon? Got to do 29 days at least before we even look for a new moon. This Tuesday coming will be 29 days of Sha'ban. So people are going to be looking for Ramadan moon on Tuesday. That's how they're going to shake. People are going to be looking for the Ramadan moon on Tuesday. That means Ramadan could be Wednesday. But what if they go out there, based on what we did yesterday, what if they go out there and look for the moon and they don't see anything? Then what? Time out. Stop the whole time. Got to do 29 days. We go out there on Tuesday. Tuesday, we did 29 days of Sha'ban, which means automatically Ramadan could be when? Wednesday or Thursday, automatically, because we did 29 days. We go out there Tuesday, look for the moon, and don't see anything. What does that mean automatically? Complete 30 days. Ramadan is when? Thursday. Clear? We go out there on Tuesday, and they see the moon. The moon is sighted. That means Ramadan is Wednesday. We go out there looking for the moon on Tuesday. It's cloudy, foggy, can't really see if it's the moon or not. What we doing? La. No. What we doing? According to the author. All the answers according to the author. Fast just in case. We never, or let's say this, we always learn according to what we learned. We not learn, the answer is never, it's difference of opinion. No. The answer, we already covered the answer. And then I mentioned the difference of opinion so we understand why people are different. According to the author, we fasting. Even if they don't see it's foggy, it's cloudy, they can't see the moon, say fasting just in case tomorrow's Ramadan. Just in case. Now, other scholars say just complete 30 days. If you don't see it, then, but we're not talking about that. Tayyib, only what we spoke about. Tayyib. We go out there on Tuesday, look for the moon, don't see anything. That means we waiting, right? Tayyib, on Wednesday afternoon, look up in the sky and see the moon. Did they miss it yesterday? No. He says yes. Anybody else? We looking for the moon Tuesday. Go out there, don't see anything. So we saying what? We saying, well, tomorrow's not Ramadan, we fasting. Ramadan is Thursday. On Wednesday, we walking around, mashallah, you look up there, they go to the moon right there. What does that moon represent? Ramadan from yesterday? No, tomorrow. That moon in the daytime represents the following day, which means we didn't miss a day. The moon is spotted in the daytime, meaning they looked yesterday, they didn't see anything, it was clear. Next day they wake up, oh man, that is the moon. That doesn't mean we missed the day. That moon represents the following day, which was still equal for us Thursday anyway. Tayyib, I forgot yesterday, the sighting of the moon is based on one trustworthy person seeing it. One trustworthy man, woman, even if the person was a slave, trustworthy. But what does it mean to be trustworthy? A person not known to be a liar. Are they trustworthy? Kuffar? You know Muslims, you know people that's not Muslim, they don't lie? They come in here, they come here and say, oh, I saw the moon, we fasting, we take that. They not known to be liars. What makes a person trustworthy? They believe in the law, and what else? That's the start. They believe in the law and their overall religion, their overall religion, what we see, what's apparent to the community. Not what they do. Nobody knows what people are doing behind closed doors. And this is important because no disrespect, but Islam considers every one of our reputations. And that's why the author said, "Walau min adlin," even if it's one trustworthy person that comes and says they saw the moon, we fasting tomorrow. But if it's one person that comes and he's not trustworthy, meaning Islamically their reputation is not intact. They don't have a good reputation as a Muslim, meaning their practice of Islam is not good. And everybody knows. Everybody knows. Well, in our time, how would everybody know? How would everybody know you're not praying? People openly show you, and we judge by that because the internet says you can't judge me. They're saying you can't judge me. Nobody can judge, which is not true. Islam, we nahkum ala dhahir. We judge by what's apparent, and that's all we have. We don't have to dig into nobody's heart and see what they really doing when they go home. But when they leave here, where you go? We don't have to do all that. What's apparent? The brother come to the masjid, the sister come to the masjid, she pray, line up, alhamdulillah. When she around us, they look like they fine. Now, if we know something other than that's different. We talking about what we know, which means if a person came through the door right now and said, "Assalamu alaikum," everybody gonna say, "Wait, son." We assume they Muslim, right? Don't, where we live, at least where we live, don't non-Muslims say "Assalamu alaikum"? Yeah. Right? But what's apparent, they come in here, they say "Assalamu alaikum," they stand here, pray 2 rak'at. We consider them Muslim, period, just by what we see. And the reputation is based on what's clear. The 3 groups that in the beginning of the day, they didn't have to fast, but in the middle of the day, it became obligatory on them to fast. 3 groups of people. The child, and then in the middle of the day, they reach puberty, right? And then the sister who was on her menses, and then in the middle of the day, her mens goes off. And then who was the last one? The traveler that they came back home. They were traveling, which means all of these people, they weren't fasting. Then in the middle of the day, it is as if they should be fasting. They're supposed to do 2 things. Number 1, all of them have to make the day up. And number 2, they're refraining as if they're fasting. They're not eating, they're not drinking, they're carrying themselves like a fasting person. Tayyib. The 2 groups who or it is 2 groups, it's 2 more groups. It's 2 more categories, and both categories have 2 groups. The first category is all this from yesterday. The elderly person who what? They can't fast. Their body won't allow them to fast. And with that group is the sick person who has a chronic illness, there's no cure for it. They have a long-term sickness, right? Both of those people, just to be clear, y'all, these are the people who are feeding people in place of their fast. Either they're elderly and they can't fast because of their body can't sustain, their body can't take it, or they're sick with a long-term sickness and it doesn't look like they're gonna have no cure. Those are the people who feed people in place of their days of fasting. If you're not from those groups, that means whatever you break your fast, you have to make it up eventually. If you're not elderly to the point where you have to break your fast, or if you don't have a long-term sickness, you're not feeding people and that's it. I'm gonna just feed 10 people in place of this. That's not for that group. Those 2 people or those 2 categories are for the group. The last group was for the people who it is recommended for to break the fast. It's recommended to break the fast for 2 people, 2 groups of people. You was here yesterday? No, listen. Huh? Who was recommended to break the fast? Who? One.
If they abstain from food and drink, it'll cause a greater harm. Traveler, the person brings hardship.
Let's stay with 1. The person that brings hardship to, that's not accurate though. That's half. hard for all of us on different levels. The sick person, if they fast, it's hard on them. I'm sick and I gotta fast on Ramadan. Not a long-term sickness, but I'm sick. I had a flu like 7 days, maybe 5 to 7, sometimes 10. It's gonna go away though. It's gonna, what we call it? It's gonna pass through, subside, yeah. It's gonna clear. It's crazy, it's gonna subside. Sahih, it's gonna pass. 10 days, even if it's 10 days. I'm sorry, that's a good one. So if you're sick, but fasting is gonna cause more damage or more harm, is difficult, then a person is recommended to break the fast. But what if they don't break the fast? Does it count? It still counts. It just says it's recommended if you're sick and you know the sickness is gonna cause you, it's difficult on you, you can break the fast. Some people don't wanna break the fast because they say they don't wanna make the day up. Or the second person who's recommended to break the fast is the traveler. The traveler that's allowed to break the fast. Because some of the travelers are not allowed to break the fast. So for the traveler that's allowed to break the fast, if they're traveling and they're allowed to break the fast, I'm sorry. That's not, Yeah. More accurate, the traveler that's allowed to shorten the prayer. The traveler that's allowed to shorten the prayer. Because if you're allowed to shorten the prayer, then you're allowed to break the fast. We clear? Tayyib. The next group, the author rahimahullah says, وَإِنْ أَفْطَرَتْ حَامِلٌ أَوْ مُرْضِعٌ. Sisters, all of us, but sisters. These issues are the same every year. The same scholars answer the same questions every year when it comes to Ramadan, when it comes to Hajj. Every year the same questions come around. So if we learn them one good time, inshallah, that's how they become when you see scholars answering questions and it don't seem like they've been thinking about it. They've been answering the same question for 30 years. It's no different, it's just a new person asking the question. This is the pregnant woman and the breastfeeding woman. The pregnant woman and the breastfeeding woman. Can a woman that's pregnant, is she allowed to fast? Yes. Is a woman that's breastfeeding, is she allowed to fast? Is she allowed to fast? Yes. Breastfeeding, pregnant, they can fast. Which woman is not allowed to fast? On her menses. If she's on her menses, she can't fast. No, but she say, I feel strong, I got the power. She's not allowed to fast on her menses. A woman that's pregnant, she can fast. If she can stand it, she can fast. A woman that's breastfeeding, if she can stand it, she can fast. And that's why the author, rahimahullah, says, وَإِنْ أَفْطَرَتْ. If the pregnant woman decides to break her fast, it's between one or two reasons. And the breastfeeding woman, they're the same. If the pregnant woman decides to break her fast, and if the breastfeeding woman decides to break her fast, well, why would she break her fast? Either one. خوفاً على أنفسهما. She fears for her. She's not worried about the baby. She fears that she's putting herself in harm's way by fasting, the pregnant woman. She's scared for herself. Everybody clear? She's not worried about the baby. If she's not worried about the baby, she's worried about herself, and she say, I need to break my fast. Anybody know what that look like? Possibly? Can you pull the plug? It's a little cold in here, shit, I'm sorry. Let's just say, a woman has asthma. She's scared, whatever the case may be, her asthma flaring up. She's not worried about the baby. It's not about the baby, it's about her asthma. She breaks her fast based on her fear for herself. Everybody clear? So she breaks her fast. She did that, let's just say she did that 5 days during Ramadan. Why she break her fast? For whose health? Her. She fears for her, she break her fast 5 days. She has to make up those 5 days, and that's it. Breastfeeding woman is the same. The rule is the same for the pregnant woman and breastfeeding woman. Why she break her fast? I'm not trying to trick y'all. You got to know this good. Why? Next year, the same thing will happen. There's nothing new coming. Allah Alam. Right? It's always going to be fasting women. Every Ramadan, it's going to be women that are pregnant. Every Ramadan, it's going to be women that's breastfeeding. And every Ramadan, it's going to be women on their menses. It's going to be the same thing over and over. A pregnant woman or a breastfeeding woman, she breaks her fast for one or two reasons. She's scared for herself. This is the first one. If she breaks the fast because she's scared for herself, something going on with her body, she fears for her. She's not worried about the baby, it's her. She breaks the fast. In that case, all she do is make up the day. So if she broke the fast 5 days based on her fearing for herself, she got 5 days to make up. Clear? No sin. She just got to make up the 5 days. Tayyib. What if she was pregnant or breastfeeding and she didn't fear for herself all Ramadan? She just did all the days, all the Ramadan. And she don't have no days to make up. Clear? Tayyib. The second situation, she might break her fast if she fears for, not her, she fears for the baby. So by her fasting and not eating all day, she cool, but she fears that the baby, maybe, sisters, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm making an example, but it could be out of line, sisters. So the sister fears, for example, is Ramadan, she fasting. She's cool, but she doesn't feel as much movement from the baby during the daytime. Before Ramadan, the baby be moving all day long. Now in Ramadan, she start fasting. She start feeling, I don't feel like the baby moving. She's starting to get scared. So she breaks her fast. Why? Out of fear of the baby. If she breaks her fast out of fear of the baby, she got to do two things. She got to make up the day and who has to feed somebody good? It says she has to make up the day. And then on top of that, al-it'am, she has to feed. Or let's say this, a person has to be fed for that day that she broke. Well, who has to feed the baby? Mimman yamun al-walad. Who's responsible for spending on the child? The father or the husband, right? The father. Because even the father. We clear? Not the husband, the father. What if she's divorced from the father? Who? Cool. If the woman, she has a child, right? She's divorced from the father. Her new husband, who's responsible for the baby? Her father, her ex-husband. Her husband is not responsible for spending on the child. Back up. A woman and her husband have a baby. They get divorced. If the child's father goes off, whatever, he's still responsible for that child. We clear? Her new husband is not responsible for that child. That's the point. Even if it wasn't her husband. Or maybe the husband might have passed away. Whoever's responsible for spending on the child, that's who is going to be paying the money to feed for that day. We clear? The feeding for the pregnant woman or the breastfeeding woman comes in when she breaks her fast on terms of the baby, out of fear for the baby. Maybe the baby's not getting enough food. She's not producing enough milk because she's fasting. So she's fearing for the baby. We clear? In that case, then she has to do two things. Make up the day and feed a person for the day that she broke. So if she broke 5 days through the month out of fear for the baby, she has to make up 5 days and 5 people have to be fed. Tayyib. The next issue is not, don't be confused with, or I'll leave it like this. Man ughmiya wa man ughmiya alayhi o junna jami'a nahar. Whoever passes out, they faint for the whole day during Ramadan. Faint. Is fainting a natural thing? No. Either they fainted the entire day, and if they fainted the entire day, what does that mean, the entire day?
Sun up to sundown.
Sun up to sundown. Specifically, what's the entire day for us? Fajr to Maghrib. More specific. No. That's the night. Maghrib to Fajr is the night. When does the day start for us? Blah, 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 blah.
Are you saying the daytime or the whole day?
Listen, we about to be fasting. Jiddan. When does the fast begin? The fast begins at Maghrib. MashaAllah. Suhoor. The adhan of Fajr. The adhan of Fajr. Fajr, what, Salatul Fajr? Salatul Fajr is 20 minutes after the adhan. We don't start fasting after we pray. We start fasting at the adhan. The day of fasting begins at the adhan. Meaning if it's time for the adhan is 5 o'clock a.m. You wake up, it's 5:05. You say, Dad, let me get some suhoor real quick. And you eat, you broke your fast for the day. Why? Because it's a piece of the day you didn't fast. The fast begins at the adhan of Fajr. So the day for us starts at the adhan of Fajr. That means the person was fainted from the adhan all the way till the adhan of Maghrib. Never woke up. Faint. That fast is not valid for them, that day of fasting. Fainting is not sleeping. We clear? Fainting and sleeping is not the same. Sleep is a normal practice. Fainting is not sleeping. We clear? Or the second group is the same thing. It's the same thing. Junnah. A person loses, I don't know how to, not consciousness, that's like fainting, but not a coma. Let's just say they lose their sanity. They lose their sanity for the whole day. From the adhan of Fajr to the adhan of Maghrib, they were in that state. This is not a normal thing. This is not normal. These two things are not normal. So you can't compare these two situations to a person who slept all day. Sleeping is normal, especially if a person works overnight. Especially like this year when the adhan Maghrib is going to be early. The adhan for Fajr is going to be a little late, and the adhan for Maghrib is going to be early. If you ever worked overnight, it's easy to sleep all day. Easy. Tayyib. So it's not the same fainting for the entire day or losing your sanity for the entire day. It's not the same as a person sleeping all day. That's why it's not mentioned here. Either way, if one of those two cases happen for the entire day, then that fast is not valid for them, for those two people. The person who fainted the entire day or the person who's lost consciousness the entire day. They lost their mental, what do you call that? Capability. This is not proper, but I'm saying this so I'll make sure I understand. Somebody was like, they went crazy for the day, blacked out, don't know what's wrong with them. It's not their normal practice. That's not normal. That's not like sleep. Any person who does that for the entire day, the fast for that day, is not valid. Out of those two people, the one who fainted all day and the one who lost their sanity all day, the only one that has to make up the day is the one who fainted. The one who fainted has to make up the day, not the one who lost their sanity. Tayyib. When it comes to fasting every day, how many days in Ramadan? 29, at the most 30. The author, rahimahullah, says, وَلَا يَصِحُ الصَّوْمُ فَرْض إِلَّا بِنِيَّةٍ مُعَيَّنَةٍ بِجُزْءٍ مِنَ اللَّيْلِ. That no day of fasting, obligatory fast. No obligatory fast is going to be correct or valid. If it's not valid, you got to do the day over. You owe a day. He says, it is not valid. Any obligatory fast is not valid without a specific intention during the nighttime. A specific intention during the nighttime. When does the night end?
Oh no, you said the night.
When does the night end? Hold on. Maghrib. Fajr. Fajr. Huh? Yeah, I know. The nights I'm saying. The adhan of Fajr. Adhan of Fajr. Remember, y'all. Fajr is the salat. And if you tell somebody Fajr, they might think they could pray Fajr first and then something. It got to be at the adhan. We stop at the adhan. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna pray first. I'm gonna eat my suhoor while, while between. A person might, all right, I'm gonna eat my suhoor between the adhan and the iqamah. I'm gonna eat on the way to the masjid between the adhan and the iqamah. No, you broke your fast already. Why? Because the day starts at the adhan. The adhan went off, you left out the house to go to the masjid, you jump in the car, you had water in the seat, you ain't get to grab no food, I'm gonna just drink this water on the way to the masjid, you already broke your fast. Because a piece of the day you didn't fast. We clear? So the night ends at the adhan of Fajr, meaning at nighttime, sometime before the adhan of Fajr, you need to make an intention, a specific intention. Well, a specific intention is, your intention is to fast tomorrow for what? Ramadan. Your intention is to fast Ramadan. You're not doing a sunnah fast because it's Monday. You're not doing a sunnah fast because it's Thursday. It's the white days. I just want to fast every other day. No. The intention is to fast tomorrow for Ramadan. Every night. Well, when does the night start? At Maghrib. Which means right now, I can make my intention to fast, if tomorrow was Ramadan, I can make my intention right now to fast tomorrow during Ramadan. You with me? Why? Because it's already after Maghrib. It's already after Maghrib. Tomorrow's Ramadan, for example, tomorrow's Ramadan. I need to make my intention before the adhan of Fajr tomorrow. Before the adhan of Fajr tomorrow. So I can make it right now. Just because you make your intention doesn't mean you can't eat. Fadl.
Can you make the intention one time to fast the month of Ramadan?
Some, not according to the author. Some scholars hold the opinion that you make one intention at the beginning of Ramadan to fast for the whole Ramadan, and that's enough. Everybody with me? Meaning, some scholars say, let's just say Tuesday, the moon is sighted. They say, okay, Tuesday night, you make your intention to fast the whole Ramadan, and that's enough. Some scholars hold that opinion. And others say, no, every day during Ramadan is a separate act of worship. Every day is a separate act of worship. And of course, every act of worship needs an intention. So they say every night, you got to make an intention to fast Ramadan the next day. Make sure your intention is done before Fajr. It's not hard to make an intention, y'all. It's not like you got to, I'm saying this because I know people. You don't have to stand in the mirror and look at yourself and go like this. Y'all laughing, I'm serious. Some people think you have to like say it, maybe even look at yourself, raise your hands, or drop your head. It's the intention to fast Ramadan tomorrow. You don't have to tell nobody. Khalas. Making the intention is easy in that sense. You just make the intention in your heart that you fast Ramadan tomorrow. Tayyib. Therefore, we talking about Ramadan, but he said no obligatory fast is correct if the intention is not made at night before the adhan. Not just for Ramadan, any obligatory fast. That the obligatory fast, the intention has to be made at nighttime before the adhan of the day you're going to fast. We clear? Fadal.
Isn't there certain things that a person can do that's connected to their intention? I mean, like a person set their alarm clock to get up for suhoor. They get up for suhoor because they're trying to fast the next day, right?
Yeah, all that, yeah, exactly. He said, what if a person set their alarm clock to eat suhoor? They eating suhoor for what? To fast. All that's part of the intention. The intention is easy. It's not like real, right? It's easy. Wake me up, 5:30. Trying to make sure I eat suhoor. All right, all that's with the intention of fasting Ramadan. We clear? Tayyib. If it wasn't an obligatory fast, if it was a sunnah fast, يصح نفل من لم يفعل مفسدا بنية نهارا مطلقا. If it's a voluntary fast, not an obligatory fast. So this right here, what we're talking about right now, this that I'm about to read has nothing to do with Ramadan. All right? This is after Ramadan. We apply this part after Ramadan. Tayyib. Meaning, if a person is doing a voluntary fast, number one, step back just so we clear. If it's an obligatory fast, when do I have to make my intention? At night. It must be before the adhan of Fajr. If it's a voluntary fast, I can make my intention to fast in the middle of the day. As long as I never ate or drank anything. As long as I didn't do anything to break my fast, I could wake up 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't make my intention last night. I could wake up 10 o'clock in the morning, and say, you know what? I'm gonna just fast today. As long as I didn't eat anything, I didn't drink anything, I didn't do anything that'll break the fast. We clear? It's a difference between the voluntary fast and the obligatory fast. The obligatory fast, the intention has to be made at night, which is before the Adhan of Fajr. The voluntary fast, the intention to fast that day can be made in the middle of the day. It could be made after Asr, as long as I didn't eat or drink anything. I went home, went to sleep, woke up, it was Asr. I didn't eat anything. Maghrib is in another hour and a half. Voluntary fast. Everybody clear? I say, man, you know what? I'm gonna just fast today. I'm fasting. And I don't eat anything until the Adhan of Maghrib. Yes, I was asleep. Sleep. Right? I didn't eat anything, I didn't drink anything, I didn't do anything that would break the fast. I wake up, it's an hour and a half, 2 hours till Maghrib. I might gotta make up some salats. Right? I'm excused though, right? I was asleep. I wake up now and pray, huh? I was asleep, right? You know what I'm saying? Came off the road, traveling. The salats are close, not this year. Next year, next couple years, Maghrib is gonna be like 4:30. Fajr at like 6 in the morning, Maghrib's at 4:30, right? Person sleeps until they wake up 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And they say, you know what, Maghrib in another hour and a half, I might as well fast. Sunnah, recommended fast. They can make the intention from there as long as they didn't do anything that would break the fast. Something. I can't see you over there, Shay. You gotta come over here.
Would that still count as like making up a day?
What?
Like if you missed like you missed your fast day, would that still count as making up a day?
Say it again.
Would that still count as making up a day if you broke your fast during Ramadan?
Broke it for what?
Like you couldn't keep it, you broke your fast, so you gotta make up a day.
Say it again.
Would that still count as one?
If I break my fast?
Yeah. You gotta make up a day. Would that still count?
I think what he's saying is if you have a day to make up, like Ramadan, you have a day of Ramadan to make up, right? So the situations you say, go all day without eating, do anything to break your fast, and then you want to say you start fasting at 3 o'clock.
That's what you're talking
Can
about?
that be a day of Ramadan made up?
No. Why not? The intention had to be at night. If it's Ramadan is an obligatory fast. So if I'm making up my Ramadan day, even if it's not Ramadan, y'all, it's after Ramadan. It's 3 months after Ramadan. But I got Ramadan days to make up. So when I make up my Ramadan days, I'm making an obligatory fast. And if I'm making an obligatory fast, the intention has to be done at night before the Adhan of Fajr. So that wouldn't work to make up a Ramadan day. That was Tayyib. The next section, the author rahimahullah is discussing the things that break the fast. What breaks the fast? Tayyib. Seven categories. I need y'all to stay with me real quick. The first category, adkhala wa man adkhala ila jawfihi. Whoever places something inside. You put something inside of your body. Question. You gotta understand this. The inside of the body starts where? No. If it started at the mouth, when you make wudu, do you break your fast? When you make wudu, you put water in your mouth? Is your fast broken? Hold on. No. You talking about that. This is why this is important. When you make wudu during Ramadan, you got to clean your mouth out. Is your fast broken? So how can the mouth be the inside? We clear? Even though we spit it out, just so we clear. All right? So when they talk about the jof, the inside, they talking about from the throat down to the stomach. And they talking about inside up. Clear? All right? You know how you go like the nose, ears, nose, and throat, and it's all connected? Not the mouth. We clear? Tayyib. Whoever puts something inside, O mujawafin min jasadihi, or not even just, it doesn't necessarily have to go through the mouth. It has to reach the inside. It's other entrances to the body besides the mouth. We clear? طيب. They say how? كدماغ. Something that reaches upwards through the nasal cavity and it goes in. That's in. Or halq. It goes down the throat. That's inside. If they do anything that goes in, طيب, anything that goes in the body is going to break the fast. And they excluded one section. I'll say it like this. Anything that goes in, you with me? It doesn't necessarily have to go through the mouth, but it reaches those areas. He says, or ابتلع نخامة بعد وصولها إلى فمه. A person, and this is how, you never read those narrations, says, let's protect our fast. Protect your fast. It's not being overboard, it's a pillar. It's nothing to play with. He says, even if a person, you know how you have mucus, and you pull mucus from your chest up, or you pull mucus from your brain, right? Normally you would do what? You spit it out, as they say, akramakumullah. A person does that, they pull a mucus from somewhere else, and then they swallow it. Tayyib, you with me? That breaks the fast. To do what? Pull mucus from somewhere else. It's not in the mouth. What's in the mouth is not an issue. It's natural. Saliva. To pull mucus from somewhere else, to pull something from somewhere, because sometimes, I'm not trying to be, but sometimes the mucus you pull might have food particles. And even if it doesn't, the fact that it was supposed to go out, you put it back in. Anything that goes in the body. And that's why some scholars mention even if a person intentionally stabs themselves. Well, what goes in the body if you stab yourself? Anything that goes in, as some of them say, is going to break the fast. Now, remember, y'all, I'm going to say these three things so we know. They do it amidan. They do it intentionally. They were trying to do these things. And they knew they were fasting when they did them. Meaning if one of those three things is not there, it's not going to break the fast. But a person intentionally, maybe they trying to kill the hunger pains, so they say maybe if I jab myself with something, it'll take my mind off. Whatever people trying to come up with, whatever the case may be. Tayyib. It says, that's the first category, something going into the body. Tayyib. The second category, istaqa'a faqa'a. A person tries to vomit and then they end up vomiting. They trying to make themselves throw up and they end up throwing up. That breaks the fast. We clear? Just so we clear, y'all, the way the author wrote the book is really based on hadith. It's a hadith that clearly speaks about whoever tries to break the fast by vomiting their fat, then it breaks the fast. So a lot of these have clear hadith. He just didn't write them there because of the type of book it is. It's a level 1, straight, real simple, easy book. So the second category is a person who's trying to vomit and they make themselves vomit. Right? They did it intentionally. They were trying to do it. They know they're fasting. Right? Then it breaks the fast. Tayyib. So some things that break the fast are based on things going in the body, and some things that break the fast are based on things coming out of the body. We clear? The first category is what you're putting in the body, and that's why we don't really burn the bukhor and stuff during the bukhor with the smoke during Ramadan. We don't burn it until after Maghrib, just being safe. Why? Because there's a smoke there. We intentionally lighten it. We know it can go in. We know all of that. Right? So we just leave it. Don't burn nothing until after Maghrib. Once we break the fast, we can burn it. We won't have to worry about it. Further.
You said within the body, like the mucus, so if you spit it, you bring it out, but you spit it out, you don't swallow that.
No, you bring it up, you spit it out. Don't swallow it.
You cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
You spit it out, you fine. The problem is in swallowing it. Now, since we talking about it, y'all,
You might have a cold or something. You
Yeah, you might have the cold. You want to clean out anyway. For what goes into the body, some of the scholars argue that, there's another group of scholars, they argue that if it's not food or drink going into the body, then there's nothing to worry about. There's another group of scholars outside of the author. They say whatever goes into the body, if it's food or drink, or it's a replacement for food or drink, then that's going to break the fast. As far as smoke, mucus, that stuff doesn't break the fast to the other group of scholars. Clear? Which includes when people get IVs and the IV replaces your food. The IV is a replacement for food, right? Injections that are a replacement for food. If the injection is a replacement for food, then it breaks the fast. We clear? Are all injections replacements for food? Tell you. What about this one? What about this? 'Cause you know how we do. What about this one? I don't know all that. Is it a replacement for food or not? No, it's not for food. If it's not for food, it doesn't apply to those scholars who say it needs to be food replacement. For the scholars who say anything enters, then it's going to break it anyway. We clear? So there's a group of scholars who say, like the author, anything that goes inside. Then there's a group of scholars who say, no, not anything. Food or food replacements, including injections and everything like that. طيب, the third category, istamna. Istamna, a person who makes themselves ejaculate during the daytime during Ramadan. They make themselves ejaculate. We clear? Istamna. Istamna, it's not enough to say, for example, masturbation. Because what breaks the fast is the ejaculation from the masturbation. Even though masturbating is haram anyway, right? What's going to break the fast? Istamna. طيب, that's number one. Or this is the same category. أو باشر دون الفرج فأمنى. Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on 1 minute. صح, طيب. Or even if it wasn't intercourse, let's just say it's foreplay. طيب, foreplay. A man's playing with his wife, they having foreplay. The wife, she playing with her husband, they having foreplay, right? This is an action that they're doing. They know they're fasting. They know they're fasting, right? They plan, they having foreplay. And from the foreplay, it causes one of them to either ejaculate or pre-ejaculate. Breaks the fast. Did they have intercourse? Nah. Were they intentionally playing around and touching each other? That breaks the fast. You did an action that leads to breaking your fast. Further. You good? طيب. So it's three things. A person is istamna. Istamna is they're trying, let's just say masturbation, and a person ejaculates, breaks the fast. Or a person, they're not having intercourse, because intercourse is a whole section of by ourselves. They're not having sex during the daytime, but they're having foreplay, husband and wife touching each other. And I don't want to say it like this but I'm going to say it just in case we think it's not. I'm talking on best case scenarios, a husband and wife having foreplay. That's the halal. Halal with your husband or with your wife, and if it causes ejaculation or pre-ejaculation, that still breaks the fast. Let alone the haram, you're not married to the woman and you're touching her during the daytime of Ramadan, or you're not married to the man and you're touching her during the daytime of Ramadan. That's a sin by itself. On top of that, if it results in ejaculation or pre-ejaculation, that's a sin on top of a sin, on top of breaking the day and having to make the day up. Allah protect us. Tayyib. The next category, أو قرر النظر فأمنى. A person looks at something over and over again until it causes them to ejaculate. Whose fault was that? Why? Because they kept looking. Not if they looked at their wife one time. They look at their wife, it's Ramadan, they look at their wife and he ejaculates just by looking at her. Or vice versa, she look at her husband. That's not karrar another. That's a natural desire that a person's not held accountable for. But if a person's looking at something and they keep looking at it and they keep looking at it and they looking at it and they keep on looking at it and they fasting, then they cause them to ejaculate, that breaks the fast. That's an action that they did. Just like the foreplay was an action that they did. Just like intercourse is an action that a person did. When a person does it, knowing that they're fasting intentionally, then it breaks the fast. We clear? Tayyib. The next section, and this one is, the author says, oh, nawal iftar. A person didn't eat, they didn't drink anything, but their intention is to break fast. They intend to break fast right now. You do know it's people who don't have nothing to eat when it's time to break fast, right? How they break fast? The intention. They don't have water. That's us. We got stacks, mashallah, tabarakallah, stacks of water, dates. We got plenty. And guess what we come here and say? Man, I don't eat dates. I ain't got the other water. You know what I'm saying? That ain't alkaline. I ain't messing with that. And then there's people sitting down on rocks and stuff, don't have nothing to break fast with. They got to break with the knee of breaking. Be thankful. Even if you took a sip of water to break, just to break. Yeah, it's not the water you usually drink. May Allah forgive us, yo. We look at the stuff that somebody donated to get ajr for feeding and breaking the fast, but we gonna come in the joint and criticize the whole, look at all the waters and say, man, it's 36 cases of water, but I don't drink none of them flavored waters, so I'm gonna just break fast when I get home. I'm gonna go against the sunnah of rushing to break fast when it's time to break. Be ungrateful. Speak out loud and be ungrateful about it. And then there's Muslims who don't have anything to break and they got to break with the intention, which means it's not time to break fast. It's a rough day. You on your way, you say, man, you know what? I'm going to just go grab a grub. I'm going to just break the day and make the day up, which is a sin, right? So a person on the way to grab something to eat, they say, I'm going to just grab a steak and go to the house. Then on the way there, they made intention to do what? Break fast. The fast is broken already. They in the car on the way to get the steak. The fast is broken. They didn't eat yet. They pull up. There's too many Muslims out there. They're like, I'm going to just, astaghfirullah. I'm going to just finish the fast off. It's too late. It's broke with, astaghfirullah, man. It's broke with the intention. The intention broke the fast. So, number 7 is, if a person intends to break fast, the fast is broke, even without the food or the drink. What number was that? That was 6. I'm sorry, I didn't specify on number 3. Number 3 was, number 3 had 2, which is ejaculation is a category, and pre-ejaculation is a category. 3 and 4. Pre-ejaculation is 3 and 4. 5, a person continuously looks at something over and over. 6, a person intends to break the fast is broken with the need of breaking the fast. And that's worst case scenario, somebody just breaking fast for no reason. But it's people who break fast with the intention because they don't have anything to break fast with. The 7th, or the last category, al-hajama or ihtajama. A person during the daytime of Ramadan, they get cupped, you know, cupping, hijama. They get a hijama, or they give a person a hijama. They didn't get the hijama done. I'm gonna do a hijama on you. The person giving the hijama, the cupping, it breaks their fast, and the one who gets cupped, it breaks their fast. We clear? All of those categories are assuming a person did it intentionally, knowing that they fasting, they wasn't forced to do it. Meaning if they were forced to do one of those things, then it doesn't break the fast. If they're forced to do one of those things. We clear? Yeah, further. Oh, further.
Is there a reason that hijama breaks, like you're given hijama, is there a reason it breaks the fast?
Good. He says, is there a reason that hijama breaks the fast? The hadith is a clear hadith about the right? The one who gives hijama and the one who gets hijama, their fast is broken. Some of these are just clear hadith like that. The author just didn't mention them. That's probably, if you Google it, and just Google it real quick so you can see how some of the hadith are just like that. No reasoning behind it. من أحجم وهجم, something like that. طيب. In these next couple cases, this doesn't break the fast. The author says, لا إن فكر فأنزل. It doesn't break the fast if a person, we use best case scenario, a man is sitting around thinking about his wife and then he ejaculates, just from thinking about her. That doesn't break the fast. We clear? What was he doing? Thinking. He didn't touch anything. He didn't keep looking at her. He thought about her and ejaculated. That doesn't break the fast. طيب. And this is the one that we spoke about at the beginning of the class. أو دخل ماء المضمضة واستنشاق حلقة. Or person is making wudu. Person making wudu. You know wudu, you clean your nose out, right? They sniff the water in their nose and then we blow it out, right? We put the water in our mouth and then we spit it out. A person sniffs the water in their nose and it goes inside. Did it reach the inside? It wasn't intentional. That doesn't break the fast. He's making wudu and cleaning out. Making wudu, put the water in their mouth, right? They was cleaning their mouth out and some of the water goes down their throat. It doesn't break the fast. Why not? Wasn't intentional. Further.
Isn't there a hadith in description of the Prophet's wudu that says that you should sniff hard when you make wudu, except during Ramadan because you can break your fast?
It says that what?
You should sniff like with force when you make wudu, except for during Ramadan because it can break your fast.
طيب. He said, is there a hadith that says you should sniff hard during wudu except during Ramadan so you don't break the fast? Allah alam, I don't know. But let's just say I wasn't even sniffing that hard and it still went down. The intention is it wasn't intentional. I wasn't even trying doing a lot of water. It was a little bit of water, but some of it happened to go down. It wasn't intentional, but it still reached the throat. If that happens, that doesn't break the fast. It's not intentional. Whether it's through the nose cavity or through the mouth. We clear? I'm sorry, y'all. طيب. The next section is connected to intercourse during the daytime. ومن جامع برمضان نهارا بلا عذر شبق ونحوه فعليه قضاء وكفارة مطلقا. Whoever has intercourse during the daytime in Ramadan without a valid excuse. It says without the excuse, بلا عذر شبق. What would be a possible excuse for a person to have intercourse during the daytime? Traveling. If they traveling, jade. If they traveling, permissible traveling, jade. Let me rephrase the question because that's you right. What would be a valid excuse if a person's not traveling? They just a regular resident, home, right? For them to have intercourse during the daytime during Ramadan.
They like depending on it.
What you mean?
Something gonna happen to them.
Oh, somebody's forcing them.
Yeah.
Forced, not forced. Got a medical condition. That's the only excuse. It's a medical condition sounds nice. It's a sickness. They have a sickness where I don't even know how to make this clean. The sickness is connected to ejaculation, that they need, the body needs to, the sickness is connected to ejaculation. That's the only excuse given. As far as a person just desires and running high, you haven't seen your wife in a couple days, y'all been passing each other for the past couple days, that's not sick, you just excited. Not excited, this is a sickness. You haven't seen your husband in a couple days, It's Ramadan, we keep passing each other, and we fasting, and then a couple days go by and everybody's excited. Not that. This is a sickness. This is a medical, she said like a medical condition in that case. Other than that, breaking the fast during Ramadan in the daytime or with intercourse is a serious sin, and there's a long hadith connected to that the man said to the Prophet ﷺ, I destroyed myself. That's how he came to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, pay attention to this, y'all. I destroyed myself by having sex with my wife during Ramadan. Let alone you're not married to somebody. Zina. That's even worse. Further.
I wanted to wait till the end of the class, but that's something that happened years ago. What would a woman do that was forced to have sex?
A woman?
Yeah, a wife, excuse me. A wife, her husband pressuring her. What is the appropriate response for a wife getting pressured to have relations? How should she respond? There's no obedience to the creation if it entails disobedience to the creator.
The woman, let me see something. We're going to get to that. That's coming next. But if I move on to something, remind me. The woman, tayyib, we get to that, inshallah. Tayyib. So if a person has intercourse during the daytime of Ramadan without the sickness, they don't have a sickness, no excuse. That's the only excuse. A person has this like a bona fide sickness. It says, فَعَلَيْهِ قَضَى. They have to make the day up. Number one, وَالْكَفَّارَةِ. And they have to pay a penalty, kafara, which is like a penalty. We clear? They have to make the day up, and there's a penalty connected to it. There's not a penalty connected to the other ones. Any other way you break your fast, there's no penalty connected to it, meaning you have to do something extra now. We clear? Penalty doesn't mean the sin, let alone the sin that's connected to it. The penalty on top of that. So, they have to make the day up, and they have to do the kafara. It's called the kafara. It says, وَلَا كَفَّارَةَ عَلَيْهَا مَعَ الْعُذْرِ. There's no penalty on the woman who has an excuse. The woman doesn't have to pay a penalty as long as she has an excuse for having intercourse with her husband during the daytime. Everybody with me? It's a man and a wife, they're married, they have sex during the daytime, intercourse during the daytime. They both have to make the day up. The man has to pay a kafara. The woman does not have to pay a penalty, a kafara, if she has an excuse. If she doesn't have an excuse, that means they both have to make up the day and they both have to pay the penalty. But if she has an excuse, then she don't have to pay a penalty. Well, what's the excuse? It says, kanomen. She sleep and her husband starts to have sex with her while she sleep. That's on him. During the daytime, during Ramadan. Now, to bring your point, she might wake up upset. I'm fasting. She's asleep. There's no penalty on her. Does she got to make the day up? She got to make the day up. Tayyib. Wa ikrahin, or her husband forces her. They still got to make the day up, but he has the penalty connected to his. Tayyib. It says these are excuses for her. For her, not for him. These excuses are for her. When nisyanan, she forgot she was fasting. She forgot she was fasting. Her husband came to her, right? She's being obedient to her husband. Her husband wants to be intimate. She's intimate with her husband. She forgot she was fasting. Really forgot. This is not a joke. This is not a joke like joke forgot. Like she really forgot, right? And Allah knows if she really forgot or not. She could lie and tell anybody what she want to tell them. Allah knows if we forgot or if we didn't forget. She forgot. If she forgot, then she still got to make the day up, but there's no penalty. We clear? These are the excuses that I mentioned. Or what jahl. She just doesn't know. So some brothers marry women. The women don't know nothing about Ramadan. They getting over on them. For real, for real. Ramadan comes. She don't know they're not supposed to be intimate during the daytime. She might be a new shahada. This might be her first Ramadan. She come from a community. It wasn't that many classes going on. She didn't know. That's an excuse for her where there's no penalty connected, but she still has to make up the day. We clear? Fadl.
Jihad doesn't apply to men.
No.
Like not knowing it doesn't apply to men.
No.
What is the
said these excuses are for the women. Why? Is it possible a man, one of the excuses is nisyan, forgetting. Is it possible a man forgot he was fasting? Huh? It's possible a man forgot he was fasting. But the scholars explain,
Like the man blacked out.
no. He ain't blackout because blackout is another level. He just forgot.
But you can't forget you fast and then go to your wife, can you?
Well, this is the argument. They're saying that, and I'm trying to be as clean as possible. It takes a man too much to get prepared for intercourse. A woman don't have nothing really, you know what I'm saying? It takes time. You telling me all that time, everything going on, it never occurred to you?
Ramadan was going.
So the scholars say, no, we're not giving you that. So they say these excuses are for the women. Preparation, if we can call it. Preparation for intercourse. Tayyib, well, what's the kafara? What's the penalty for the Allah? The man not knowing, inshallah. Maybe it's a new shahada. That's a good question. Maybe it's a new shahada who didn't know. A new shahada, he didn't know that you wasn't supposed to be intimate with your wife in the daytime. Right? He goes to his wife in the daytime. I'm going off the call of the author. Right? That he's not excused. Meaning, now, not excused, y'all, doesn't necessarily mean he's sinful. All right? It doesn't necessarily mean he's a new shahada and it's a sin on him. It might not be a sin on him, but you still got to make the day up and you got to pay that penalty. Doesn't equal sin automatically. Tayyib. What is the penalty? The penalty is in this order. Number one, this penalty is only connected to intercourse during the daytime in Ramadan. Number one, what's the penalty? A person has to free a slave. Free a slave. Do we have any slaves to free? I'll make sure, because some of the brothers be thinking. I just want to make sure. You got no free. All right, Sheikh, I'm trying to tell you. No slaves to free, so that don't apply. I'll tell you. Since there's no slaves that a person can free, for in lam yajid, if a person doesn't have a slave that they can let go, let them go free, فَصِيَامُ شَهْرَيْنِ مُتَتَابِعَيْنِ, you have to fast 2 consecutive months. That's the penalty. 2 consecutive months. This is when? After Ramadan. After Ramadan, that means you have the day to make up for the day of intercourse. Right? Then you have to fast 2 straight months, which is how many days? 29. A bare minimum, 58. At the most, 60, depending on how long the month is. Every month is either 29 or 30 days, right? You have to do 2 months straight. Not like a month now, take off a week and then do another month. No. Mutatabi'ain, 2 months straight. Hijri, all this is Hijri. Hijri is only 29 or 30. That's why it's at least 58 days straight of fasting. Depending on the month, you might have to do 60. Depending on that month, on the Hijri calendar that month, right? So you're doing 58. That's the penalty, plus your 1 day that you broke. You owe the day that you had to make. You have to make that day up anyway. And the 58 days or the 60 days is the penalty. We clear? Tell you. Who keeps track of if the person is paying their penalty or not? Person. Who's going to keep track like, yo, you still owe 33 days left? That's on you before Allah. Before Allah, you're going to meet Allah and it's owed. That's the penalty for the sin. Or even if the sin was removed for the mistake. I met a brother, he had to fast for 2 straight months. He had to do, not for this, for something else. It was an accidental death. He was in Jeddah, driving, and they have people who sweep, like a street cleaner. They're cleaning the street, sweeping up, and he accidentally hit the brother and killed him. Accidental death. So he had to go to court. It was a mistake. It wasn't intentional. And part of his sentence was fasting 2 months straight. That was part of his sentence. Now, is it possible he could just not fast none of them, right?
Yeah.
He could fast not none of them and meet a law like that. This brother was fasting for 2 months straight. And if we saw him in our estimation of what people look like and what religious people look like, if we saw him, he wouldn't even be considered religious to us. And I only knew because I'm seeing him every day teaching him English. And he coming in there and he tired every day, and he wasn't like that last week. A couple weeks ago, he wasn't like that. So every day he coming in tired, I'm like, you all right? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just asking, you all right? And then he told me about having this friend like teacher. They be just talking over there, sounding. In English, they just be talking. They tell me his whole business right there in front of the whole class. He hit somebody. I said, dang, hold on. Hit somebody, and that was part of his sentence, and he was carrying it out, fasting every day, 2 months straight, which is at least 58 days and possibly 60. طيب. He says, فَإِنَّمْ يَسْتَطِيعْ. What if a person, this happens to, let's just say they fall in one of them categories, they have a chronic long-term illness. That means they can't fast anyway, right? So what are they supposed to do? It says here, فِإِطْعَامْ 60 مسكين, and they have to feed 60 people. 60 people. And all of this comes in a long hadith of the man who this happened to. From
For that 2 months, it gotta be before the next Ramadan comes?
Yes. Everything should be before the next Ramadan when you're making up stuff.
And at any point, if they doing them 58 days, if they miss a day for anything, they gotta start over, right?
That's the point. The point with the tabi'ain means straight through, no breaks, not one break. The only accepted break would be what? For sure. Huh? Allah alam, if traveling is an excuse. I'm not sure about that. That's a good one. Traveling. Allah alam. I'm not sure about that, traveling.
They got sick.
Y'all good, mashallah. Maybe it's a bunch of excuses, maybe. Maybe y'all, no, Sahih. Maybe it's the one I'm thinking about. No, that's Sah. They sick. Maybe they sick and they can't fast. Let me rephrase the question. Sah, a woman on a men's, she can't fast anyway. You get the point. What if it's a day? What day can't they fast? That's a better question. What day is it that they can't fast? The Eid. One of the Eids come up, they can't fast the day of the Eid. It's haram to fast the day of the Eid anyway. So if let's just say none of that was happening, it was just going straight through, and then the day of the Eid came.
You said it's haram, so that's a sin.
Haram fasting the day of the Eid. Then they wouldn't fast the day of the Eid, and then they would pick back up.
What do they do if Ramadan pops up?
That's a good question. I don't know. Allah alam. But the Ramadan fast.
What's the question?
He said, I'm sorry. He said, what would they do if they were doing that fast? And in the midst of them doing that fast, Ramadan comes.
With the kafara?
Yes. They fast in their 2 months of a penalty. And let's just say they got 1 month down, and then Ramadan comes. Huh?
You gotta do Ramadan and plus make it
No,
up.
he missed it, didn't he? Because he had to do it before Ramadan.
Even if he missed it, even if he's supposed to do it before Ramadan, Ramadan comes and he still owes a month. Does he fast? He's fasting Ramadan. And he's still going to owe the month. But on top of that, he was supposed to finish that before Ramadan.
So he never did it consecutively.
No, he could have did it consecutively. Just like sisters wait until the last minute to make up their days. For the sisters, if you ain't make up your days, you need to make them up like now. You know what I'm saying? You wait until the last week to try to make up. You wait 7 days to make up 8 days. She got to make up 8 days and 6, and Ramadan is 6 days.
Let's say for the sake of argument, the penalty, he got the 60-day penalty, and it's 45 days before Ramadan.
When they gave it to him,
Right.
then I'm assuming if it's this, for this?
No, I'm talking
Not for this.
I was speaking about the
Oh, the other, but in the case with the court case with the brother, not this one, in the other case, then that's going to be through the judge. That's going to be a conversation because they're going to consider all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be a conversation where they'll tell them what to do. As far as this is concerned, you got all year for the next Ramadan. You see what I'm saying? But it could be that a person started before the next Eid, and then the day of the Eid comes up.
If it's just off that one act.
Off that one act.
Now, what if he did multiple acts?
If he did multiple,
Yeah, like twice in that month. Ramadan, yeah. And of course with his wife during the daytime.
more than one day. Oh, so I'm with you.
Multiple days.
Even though the author didn't mention that in this book, the issue is basically the penalty is by day. By day. So let's say if he did it 3 days, it's 3 kafalas, 3 separate penalties. But if he did 3 times in the same day, that's considered 1 penalty. But either way, 2 months of fasting is Allah protect us. I mean, so if a person is not able to fast, from those people who are not able to fast, then they feed 60 poor people. The last one, for in lam yajid saqatat. If a person doesn't have it to feed 60 poor people, they don't have it. They're unable to, they don't have the money to feed the people, which is what it could look like, y'all, just so we know. Doesn't mean you gotta have a banquet. You feed 1 person for the next 60 days. You feed 1 poor person for 60 days or 58 days. That's what they would be doing. What if they don't have it to go that far? They don't have the money to keep spending and spending and spending. What happens then? Then it falls off. The penalty falls off. There's nothing else for them to do. All that's based on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. When a man came to him, the Prophet ﷺ, and he described himself, he said, I destroyed myself. That's how he felt. This is like destruction. This is the worst thing I could have did. He said, what you do? Waqat. He said, I was intimate with my wife during the daytime of Ramadan. With my wife. And he considered that to be a form of destroying himself. Tayyib. Stop there, inshallah. That's Kathy.
Do they say anything like, so you saying if the person doesn't have enough money to feed 64 people, right? Do they say anything about if he ever gets the money that he still has to pay it? Now has the penalty now becomes valid again?
No. It drops off. I don't know if it's saying, I haven't seen anything. What if in 3 years, for example, in 3 years you get some money, then you still gotta go back? Not that I know of. The next section, we'll start the next section tomorrow, which is the things that are disliked to do while we're fasting, the things that are disliked. And if it's disliked or hated does not necessarily equal haram. But hated still means we shouldn't be doing it. Hated means we should stay away from the following things. But we'll stop. If there's no questions, any more questions? Further.
Okay, so now that we went through this class, right? If a person realizes that years ago that they violated one of these, should they go back and pay this penalty?
Violated one of what?
For instance, if a man knows that he had sex with a woman during the day of Ramadan, right? But he didn't know that he had to fix it with these particular penalties. Now that he knows, should he go back and do it?
Allahu A'lam. Allahu A'lam. I wouldn't say nothing like that. It's too broad of a question, and there could be too many factors involved in that just to say yes or no. Allah A'lam. I would have to have a whole conversation and really get some detail before I could say that. Allah A'lam. Further.
The brother who hit the guy, the judge sentenced him to doing the fasting. Is this something like recognized by law as well, or is it like is he going to be punished by law for not doing this, or is it strictly from the government saying that he got to fast little things? Yeah, is it part
Sharia, yeah. No, that's part of the Sharia. Part of the Sharia. When it comes to he said the brother who, part of his sentence was the fasting. Is that just what the judges came up with? Is that part of Deen, or is that just like a governmental, a government ruling or penalty? No, that's Sharia. So some things in Islam have specific punishments, right? That's why we got to be careful. If we're in a Muslim country, if we living under the Sharia for real, you got to be careful the names we call one another, especially when it comes to like names about zina and fornicators and stuff like that. Them names hold a lot of weight in a Muslim court. And some actions have designated penalties to them in Islam. In some actions, it's no designated penalty. So when the penalty is not real specific, when there's no specific penalty in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the judge does what's called ta'ziyah, where the judge basically makes a judgment call based on what he did. Based on what was done, This is your penalty for that. Now, I'll give you an example. There's a penalty for zina, or what we call, let's just say, cheating, which is adultery, right? Okay. There's a penalty for cheating on your wife or cheating on your husband. Islam has a penalty for that. Tayyib. Number one, which is important, we need to understand what is cheating in Islam, not in our terms. Because we come in and we'll say somebody cheating. So what'd she do? What'd he do? I found the phone number in his pocket. And we calling them names. We start calling him a fornicator, and he cheating, and he doing this, and he doing this. Islamically, zina cheating, fornication has a very specific definition in Islam. If it doesn't fit that, you can't call that zina, no matter how you feel about it. And the judge is not going to rule on a phone number in a pocket as the same as what zina is in Islam. That don't mean the person will walk scot-free, nothing. There's not going to be no penalty. But there's no way he can give the person the same penalty for a phone number, which is not, I'm not making it like it's okay, y'all. I'm just saying they're not the same. They're two different levels. What we do is we mash them together. To us, it's all the same. If you had a phone number, you know what you was doing. That's how we talk. Right? So we mash it together. If you're in a Muslim court, Islamic court, it doesn't go like that. Very specific. Based on hadith. How many people need that? If it's somebody's zina, how many people had to see it? 4 people saw them. In the act, not just covered up under the covers, not a picture. They saw people, four external people.
How about video?
Video, no.
Trustworthy people.
Huh? Trustworthy, yeah, 4 people, they saw it. That's your proof that somebody's cheating in Islam. You come and you say, well, he was on the phone, he was in somebody's DM. None of that's right. But you can't raise something like that to the level of 4 people watching something happen, witnessing something happen. In real time, yeah. No videos. Can't videos be edited?
Yep.
They didn't just start editing videos. They just started letting us edit videos. Videos been being edited. Pictures been edited. It's been going on. So that's not enough to raise the penalty to the penalty of a person who was caught in the actual act, which doesn't mean that the person gonna walk out of court scot-free. But how the judge going to what's going to be the penalty? The judge is going to make a look at it, and I don't know what they call it in legal terms here, but a judge is going to make a judgment call on what the penalty should be and explain to the person how to carry it out and all that. So it's not just a government thing. It's more of a sharia thing when there's no direct penalty associated with the action.
So you feel
Allah.
like acts of haram sinful with the legislation as far as the being stoned and everything like that? Is it still like trying to cover the brother, the sister up too from? Because what's the light that you really want to catch somebody in the act?
What's the
like that?
likelihood?
Yes.
Well, you got to understand, the penalty for zina is like death.
Yes.
It's not something light. You're not just going to run in there and tell somebody, yo, my husband cheating on me. What? Stone him. Islam don't work like that. Yo, my wife was cheating on me. Oh, what? You always said she was such and such. Bring her in here. No, this Dean, this not, Islam don't work like that. Like who saw, like you talking about, you talking about sentencing somebody to death in a court? You talking about removing a father from the lives of children or removing a mother? You talking about, this is a big thing. The hadith of the Prophet says something, the man who came there and said what he did, or was it a woman? It was a woman? The woman who came, it was two separate kids. He turned away the first time. Told her what she did, no, you couldn't have did that. Nah. I don't want to believe you did that. You need 4 witnesses. So this is a heavy thing. You can't take the actual act with witnesses and apply it to somebody who you screenshotted a DM that he sent somebody and then put them on the same. A judge in real court is not going to take that. Which doesn't mean the screenshot that you have doesn't mean anything. It's still out of pocket. But we got to be careful in the names we start calling each other. If we was under the Muslim rule, they could take you to court for slander. You say anything. We think we could just say anything because we got a page or we just whatever. Talk about people and just say anything. We was in a Muslim under the Sharia for real. We take you to court for slander. Maybe some lashes, you calm down a little bit and watch your mouth.
Freedom of speech.
Maybe, freedom of speech. You can't just say anything. You can't say anything. Islam don't work like that. So in the court, there are rules according to the Sharia that protects everybody. It protects everybody. It's not just protection for the women, it's protection for the women, protection for the men, protection for the society, so that it doesn't get out of control, like it's out of control, like with freedom of speech, anybody say anything. You see what I'm saying? Allahu A'lam.
Even with all that protection, law still see everything.
Say it again.
Even with all that protection, law still see everything.
No doubt. And even if a person was lying, Allah knows they're gonna meet Allah with that. All of us, we're gonna meet Allah with what we did. Even if we fooled the whole masjid. We're gonna be raised up and Allah knows exactly what we did and what we lied and all that. So it's no, may Allah protect us, and we'll stop there, inshallah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah, after Isha. Hopefully. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll finish. Tomorrow's Monday. We'll finish, inshallah, probably Tuesday night. Inshallah. Inshallah. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa nabiyina Muhammad. Wa iyyakum.